And now for a foray into Northern Ireland, 1969, as the Troubles were just kicking off. It was a tumultuous time, and it's captured in the acclaimed new film Belfast. It's a love letter to the city, where the director, Kenneth Branagh, grew up. It's garnered a huge amount of Oscar buzz. Nominations are announced next week. And joining me now is one of the film's stars, J.Dornan. Jamie, you are a cast member with greats like Judi Dench, Ciarán Hands. You've got the little boy Buddy, who's a scene stealer. How did you approach the role, and how much did you enjoy playing Pa, the father, in this movie?
Yeah, listen, it was incredible. When Ken first sent me the script, it was only Judi Dench attached at that point. So I'm thinking, I don't even really need to like the script. If I'm going to have a chance to have Judi Dench play my mother, I'm in anyway. And then he rounded out the cast with these incredible people, as you mentioned, Katrina Balfe, Ciarán Hinds. But the little boy, Jude Hill is his name. The movie sort of hangs on him, and we see it. The whole movie's from his perspective, seeing his whole world change around him from the perspective of a 9-year-old boy. So if it doesn't work with him, the movie doesn't work. But luckily we found this, or Ken found this incredible kid.
Are you amazed? I mean, here's a black and white film. Some have said, it looks very much like Alfonso Cuarón's Roma in terms of autobiographical, at least semi-black and white, really personal story. Have you been amazed by how it's resonated, particularly with the critics, with the Oscar buzz, all of that?
Yeah, it's not why you do it. You put everything into every job you do and try to get the most out of it on the day to day and have fun and create something special. But whatever the response is totally out of your hands. So to have something that is, I'm from Belfast, it's a tiny place and a tiny island that a lot of people, despite dominating much of the world news for 30-year conflict, people don't really have a great understanding of the place of the people or what went on, and that's not an ignorance, that's just they just don't know. And so to tell a story about such a small place and for it to resonate the way it has, it's incredible. It's not what you expect. Critically to have the praise we have, brilliant, and for so many people to love it, but also for it to resonate personally to so many people from very far away from Belfast. That's special. That is special. We've had people coming up after screenings from Haiti to Ghana to Spain saying that's my story. That's rare. That doesn't happen very often. So that's been a lovely thing that it's resonated with so many people.
And what about the screenings in Belfast? I read that you were the most anxious about that because it was about them and about their city.
Yeah, listen, I'm one of those people, and I can't tell you how much it matters to tell a different story from Belfast. We've seen brilliant movies set in Northern Ireland before. We'll see many more great movies set there that are from a more politicised lens or sectarian, tribal lens, religious, very one-sided religiously. We've never seen this. We've never seen a normal, hard-working, working-class family from Belfast who didn't ask for any of this. Something fell upon their door and changed their lives forever, that they wasn't brought on by something that they wanted. And that speaks to most people from that part of the world. And that story hasn't been told, and it's so vital and necessary that it is told. And I think that's why it's so important to the people from home. So as a result, that night that we had on the 4th of November, 2021, I'll never forget it, showing the people of Belfast the movie, about 1,400 people in the Waterfront Hall. And it's just a palpable sense of appreciation from people in the room that story's been told in that way, and it humanizes people from home. It doesn't go, oh well, I imagine everyone from there is very much one-sided, or they think this way or they think that way, and there's deep division. Of course there's deep division. There continually deep division, even now, 24 years after peace. So it's an important message, and so that the importance of that on that night, got to me. I felt physically sick and with nerves, but I felt unbelievable after when the response was so positive.
Yeah. So let's play a little clip. This is a part of the film where things you can see. It's as I said at the beginning, this is not the full-fledged troubles. This is not the full-fledged fight. It's at the beginning of this, of the troubles in Northern Ireland. And this little clip is where you, Pa, are discussing with your wife, Ma, about moving, about getting out with your children. So let's just play this little bit of this clip.
All the group bus going in 3 minutes. Last tickets now.
The boss has been in touch. They want me to stay on. A permanent job in England. Wanting me to move into management. It's more money. There's a house that goes with it. We get it rent-free, with a chance to own it if things go well. A wee bit bigger than what we have here. A room for each of the boys. There's a wee garden too.
Are you allowed to play football in that garden, Daddy?
Aye, son. If I say yes, there's more money straight away. We could start getting on top of that back tax now. This family's not going to get another chance like that in this time, not now.
It really shows the closeness of the family and the care that you're trying to put into, keeping them safe. And again, it's not a fighting war movie. It's really like a love story. It's just a very important story of community and family in one particular neighborhood. I wonder whether you, when you were growing up in Northern Ireland, do you identify as a certain religion or certain politics? Did that ever come into it? And how did that translate when you were playing this role?
Yeah, I mean, I was lucky. Well, a couple of things there. I'm from a much more middle-class background than Ken was. I've never shied away from that. But if you're from that place, you cannot be affected by the difficulties of being from that place, no matter what the situation is, and the complexities of it. I'm also was brought up agnostic, which can be quite useful if you're somewhere where your very religion is what divides you from your neighbour. Kept up while my grandparents were still alive, kept up some idea that, just to please them, because they were very religious Presbyterian Protestant, that we would still, I think I was brought to church till I was about 7, and then when my grandparents passed away, we sort of dropped that and was never a part of it. It was never really talked about again in our lives. And I went to secondary school that was mixed Catholic Protestant, which is fairly rare in Northern Ireland, and even more rare in primary schools, which is a really shocking statistic in Belfast now and in all of Northern Ireland now. In 2022, less than 7% of primary schools aged 4 to 11 are integrated. So we're dividing kids at the age of 4 based on their parents' religion. Wow. There's absolutely no way of healing, of getting things back to some sort of normal place or something recognizable as normal from the outside world until we deal with that and we integrate the primary schools.
And that's why the role of Buddy was just so poignant, because you could tell that he was a little boy who just wanted to be friends with everyone and who cared about religion. And that was really, really sweet and effective. But can I ask you, look, so many people will know you as the main character, Christopher Grey, in 50 Shades of Grey. And a lot has been written about, the massive departure of this film from that. Did that film sort of follow you around, that I guess it was a trilogy. Did you feel you had to, for want of a better word, break out of that, prove something, make sure that, you had a career as a different kind of actor as well as playing that kind of role?
A wee bit. I don't know. I've been lucky in the last, it's 8 years since I got that role. I've done a ton of work in that time that is a million miles away from it. I think if you do something that's as
do you have any interests outside?
Has as much attention on it as those books did, as those films did, there'll be people who'll always maybe just see as that thing. But as an actor, I just see that as any other role, and you move on to the next thing, and you go again. So there's going to be potentially people who see me as that no matter what goes on. But I've never felt I'm trying to prove anything.
The Tourist, which
Yes.
is the latest that we get to see, is an amazing
Yeah.
thriller that's on the BBC. It's wrapping, but it's just amazing. That must have been really fun and quite difficult to play. I mean, there's a lot of hardship that you go through. Your character goes through.
Yeah, it was the biggest challenge of my life, I think. Professionally, The Tourist. I was dealing with a lot of personal stuff at the beginning of it, and I lost my father 10 days before we started shooting, and then was out in Australia for 5 months. I had my family out there, and it was the most grueling schedule I've ever worked, and physically very demanding role, and emotionally, mentally, what the character goes through. So yeah, but I like a challenge. I always have, and so if part of that challenge is trying to prove people based on what you're saying before, then I'm up for that. So I think I also think like what I love the most about being an actor is the variety of it and getting to switch it up all the time and challenge yourself. So yeah, I'm definitely like that.
Congratulations and also condolences on the loss of your father. J.Dornan, thank you very much indeed for being with us.